up the heat. T-Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. T-Will, shining bright on the airwaves, bringing sports tonight. Atlanta heart with the soul so free. My ATL sports show, it's the place to be. T-Will, taking flight. Falcons and Braves, yeah, we're feeling right. So bring that energy, let the city resonate. With T-Will on the mic, we're gonna celebrate.
All right. Welcome everyone to What the Falcon, home of the Brave, with yours truly, T-Will, and my guy Scott Karasik.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Just been a busy 2 weeks.
I hear that.
Been a busy 2 weeks. Pretty excited to see some wrestling come up this weekend too. So, King of the Ring is my favorite tournament. So,
hey, nothing wrong with that, man. We got Craig, hashtag HOF Trent Dilf. Craig is hilarious. What up, Craig? We got the Dixon Way in here. What up, Craig? Dixon Way, no Batman talk. I'm disappointed. Hey, Dixon Way, don't want to disappoint you, brother. Guess what? We have Man of Steel tomorrow on both channels for my ATL Sports 1 and on for my movies, for my ATL Movies 1. So you can catch them on both channels. Good to see you, Dixon Way. Hey, man, let's go. Let's get it. Craig, you are hilarious. Ryan from the Birdcage, what's good on, fellas? Welcome back, T-Will. Glad to see you back in full strength. Thank you, Ryan, and to everyone who wished me well, including Scott and everyone in this channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Your prayers were definitely needed and warranted and came true, and I cannot thank all of you enough. King Richie says, what's good, T-Will? Dixon Way says Ironheart is pretty good. Yeah, I got to check that out, Dixon Way. I hadn't had a chance to get to it, but it looks like it is.
I'm a little marveled out, man. Like, I'm just a little marveled out. Like, I'm sure it's good. It's just ever since Endgame, I'm like, when's the next like really like gonna hit franchise gonna hit? Right. And I'm just like, I'm kind of just marveled out, and it's got nothing to do with the quality of the work because it's all been solid. I've just been like, man, I'm just kind of done with Marvel for right now.
I get it, man. Sometimes you don't want steak. Sometimes you want lamb. You know, sometimes you want
something new and original. Like,
right. I get it. I
want new and original. Like, that's why I'm excited for Thunderbolts when it finally hits Disney Plus, because I'll watch that. I'm not a movie theater guy.
Hey, I get it, man. I get it. Very good movie, Thunderbolts, by the way. And I think, yeah, we did a preview on it. So if you want, you can check it out. But definitely worthwhile to watch. Very good, good movie. DSGB Hall says, what's good, fellas? Hope all is well with both of y'all. Dixon Way says, better than I thought it would be. Dixon Way says, glad to see you healthy, sir. The wifey showed me the picture. Yeah, man. I was fighting it Dixon Way. I was fighting it. I was. Dixon Way says, Fantastic Four. And Scott, I think that's another one that's going to be really good. He does have a point. Scott, when you are on with T-Will, hide the Bama stuff. Just kidding.
I'm not a Bama. So I am big school agnostic. I've explained this many times on Twitter, everywhere else.
Right.
I do not claim a big school.
Right.
I went to the Citadel. That is my school.
Right.
I don't care about any of these big schools. I watch college football so I can watch college football. The Bama stuff is in here to make my wife happy.
There you go. Because at the end of the day, man, happy wife, happy life. So, hey, I get that, brother. I get that. I understand. I'm not mad at it. So, hey, let's get to it, Scott. First and foremost, I got some things I want to buy and some things I want to sell. You know what I mean? Or another way of saying it, buying or selling. So, let me ask you this. We're into it now. Our Falcons are coming up. You know, we've made some decent signings. We've drafted some really, really good players. They seem to fit our scheme. So these questions are in connotation to that, or in context to that.
Sure.
Buying or selling that the Falcons will achieve 50 sacks this year, and this is for y'all in the chat as well. Buying or selling, what do you think? Give me your thoughts.
So my projection, now keep in mind they had 31 last year.
Right.
My projection for this year is anywhere from 40 to 45.
Okay.
And the big driver of that is going to be from the edge group, which last year had 14 sacks. I think this year they have 26 sacks. So that's a difference of roughly 12. But the rest of the team is still only going to put up 15 to 17 sacks.
That's fair.
Or 24 to 26 sacks for the edge group. So I think between 39 and 45 is about where they settle this year.
Okay.
It's an improvement, right? We're not expecting them to be the best pass rush in the league day one. And if you are, you need to adjust your expectations. The big thing with this fan base is we draft these guys, we get our expectations and our hopes so high that nothing can ever meet them. When if we just kind of drew it back a little bit and we're like, okay, what's a good season for, Arnold Ebiketie? Arnold Ebiketie should be the one taking the biggest leap. He should be at 10 sacks this year, plus average run defense, or even slightly below average run defense. That would be an improvement. What would a good year for Leonard Floyd look like? Probably what he's been doing the last 5 years. 8 sacks, solid run D. What would it look for Walker? 5 sacks, solid run D. What would it look for Pierce? 5 sacks, solid run D. Well, if you get 5 from the rookies each, that's 10. You get roughly 8 from each Ebiketie and Floyd. That's 26 right there. That's a massive improvement from last year's edge production.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you've got to look at it. It can't just be like, okay, well, this one guy is going to put up 15 sacks guaranteed, and you got to adjust your expectations for each guy. And as a whole, the entire unit. Will the defense be better, though? I think the defense as a whole goes from 23rd, 24th to like 12th. Okay. And that's the most important thing.
That'd be doing a lot. If you go to 12th, that'd be doing a lot. Now, Dixon Way, first off, Birdcage says Scott's going to defend the monkey. Wallace, Scott is not going to defend the monkey.
I don't care. I'm wearing an A on my shirt, but it's not the same A.
That's right.
That's a Braves A, by the way.
Hey, there you go. That's how you do it.
It's the old Braves A, the 60s Braves A.
Classic. It's classic Braves A. Wallace says, what's good, fellas? Dixon Way says 55 sacks. Hey, I love that Dixon Way. I'm not gonna say 50. I'm gonna say 48. I'm going to root for 48. It probably is gonna be like what you say, 40 to 44. But I'm gonna hope and pray and wish and root for 48. Next one I got for you, Scott. Buying or selling, Falcons make the playoffs.
That I'm buying because I'm seeing this team win anywhere from 10 to 12 games. Okay. The schedule's favorable for what they're trying to do. The team should have an at least average defense, and they were top 6th in yardage last year on offense.
Mm-hmm.
With a bum Kirk Cousins throwing picks 5 games of the year.
Yes. Thank you for making that point. Thank you for making that point. Because people don't realize how good this Falcons offense, how good they played in spite of all of that.
Yeah.
In spite of everything that they went to, people don't realize how good this Falcons offense was. And look at if they ascend to top 12 in defense, look out. Okay, because I'm comfortable with this team scoring 28. Well, let's say 27 points a game. If
they're top 12 in defense and top 5 in offense, they're gonna be a 14-win team, not a 12-win team.
Yeah.
I realize that I'm giving them that's the potential levels they can be. They could be a top 3 team in offense, really, and not just in yardage, but in points. Because the big issue in the red zone last year had a lot to do with the fact that they couldn't run any play action because Kirk couldn't move.
Yeah.
And Zach Robinson wanted to run play action. So.
All right. Craig says 17-0 Super Bowl with Craig. Hey, your mouth to God's ears, bro. You and Eric Parker.
I'm an optimist, but I've also got a splash of the realism where it's like we're gonna lose some games we probably shouldn't lose. We're gonna win some games we probably shouldn't win. Hopefully, the games we probably shouldn't win are in the playoffs, and the ones we probably shouldn't lose are in the regular season.
Agreed.
And we're like 10-7, but we're in the Super Bowl.
Love it. Love it 100%. No issue with that.
Give me that season all day.
I love that.
Like when they went,
that.
Like when they went 11-5 and went to the Super Bowl in 2016.
Yeah.
I would love that kind of season.
Yep. Wallace is buying that we make the playoffs. Wallace says, I'm buying that we make the playoff this season coming up. Craig says, don't make me go get Eric laugh out loud 17-0. So do you know the origin of that 17-0? Were you there for that?
I don't think I was.
Okay. All right. So my brother and I, who I love, by the way, I love both my brothers, but I love it. But it doesn't come off that way when we get into this discussion, because it really is like which came first, the chicken or the egg. So he always says at the beginning of each year, I'm like, Eric, and at this point I do it just to agitate him. I can admit that because he's my brother, and why not? But every year I say, Eric,
little brothers, I get it.
Yeah, he's my little big brother because he's like 6'2" and I'm 5'9". But okay, 5'8", and
I'm 5'7", so
there you go.
And like actually 5'7".
You get it. I'm probably 5'8", but Anyway, so every year I'm like, how many games we're gonna win? He's like, we're going 17-0. We have this massive argument. Like it just for no reason other than I'm like, bro, we're going to lose some games. The last time a team went undefeated was 2007, and they lost the Super Bowl. It just doesn't happen. And he's like, well, I don't expect to lose every Sunday getting up. And I'm like, nobody expects to lose. But if you're making a general prediction, right? But anyway, we had a show where he and I we went at it. And that's what Craig is referring to when he's talking about. So he's kind of doing it tongue in cheek. All right, so buying or selling, Scott, and you kind of referenced it, so you kind of have to back it up.
Okay.
Will the Falcons be a top 10 offense this year?
Yeah, they were a top 10 offense last year. Now, the question is, will they have a top 10 scoring offense?
I want to hear.
I think they will. Because I think Penix is going to – now, you're going to have those couple of games where you score 7 or 14, and life just looks like it sucks for the offense. Every team has those, right?
Right.
Every single team has those. Even the Bengals last year had a couple games where you're like, dang, they only scored 14 against the Browns. Like, you're going to have those games.
Yeah.
That's life in the NFL, right? But they're going to have some games where they're scoring 35 and 42 and 35 back-to-back weeks, and we're like, this offense can't be stopped. Holy shit. Like, we're going to have those weeks, right? We're going to have some games where it's grinded out with Bijan, score 17, and hold the Saints to 3, and that's the week, right? And then you're going to have some games where it's like just explosive pass to Mooney, explosive pass to Pitts, explosive pass to London, touchdown. Penix goes off for 450 yards and 6 touchdowns, and we're like, what the fuck just happened? I don't know, but I like it. Like that, we're going to have those kinds of weeks, right? With the offense. And I do think we're going to have some low-scoring games against the Aints because for whatever reason, that's what happens when we play the Satans.
Yeah, it is.
It is what it is.
It is. It really is.
You're
right about
whatever. That. Like, I'm okay with low scoring as long as they don't score. And I think they're going to be super inept this year.
Amen. Amen to that. Craig says as long as we dog walk the Aints. Agreed.
As long as we beat them.
Agreed for that. All right. So next section, we're going to get into some Falcons trivia. Always gotta, it's not a For My ATL Sports 1 show if we don't have some sort of trivia going on.
So funny story. You sent me that deck this morning.
Yeah.
And I looked at those questions and then did not even look at them again and haven't even looked at them since and do not remember what they are. So
because They don't know that, right? That's they don't know what we don't. Well, they know now, but they don't know what we don't know. So it's okay. We're asking it to the chat, right?
Okay.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good, man. Hey, you're in the show, Scott. You don't have to answer. It's all good, man. It's all good. There's no pressure. We got Antonio in the building. Antonio says Saints won't be a problem. Amen, Antonio. I can hear that. All right. So first Falcons trivia question. Which Falcons safety made his first Pro Bowl in 2012? Which Falcons safety made his first Pro Bowl in 2012?
I know this one.
I know you do. You probably know them all.
This one's Thomas Deku, if I had to guess.
Ooh, no.
If it's not him, it's Willie Moe.
It's Willie Moe. It is Willie Moe.
They both went that year.
Yes. Yes.
Wait, how was that not his first one? How was that not Deku's first one?
That's a good question.
I think both are the right answer. Because I think that's Thomas Deku's only one.
Yeah, he sucked after that. Deku make his first.
He went to a Pro Bowl in 2012 and never went to another one. And then William Moore went to his only Pro Bowl in 2012. Yeah. I knew that was the year of Willie Moe and Deku.
Yeah, you're right. They both did. So you're both right. They're both right. That is correct. That is correct. Dixon Way says Keanu Neal. Wrong guy. Just kidding. Wallace Smith says Willie Moe. And Dixon Way says you're right. And actually, if you said Thomas Deku or Willie Moe, you're both correct. You're both correct. So, hey, look at our Falcons chat, man. They're on it. All right. Who coached the Atlanta Falcons during their first winning season in 1971? Good luck.
Was that Lehman Bennett?
No, you're close, but no.
Was that wasn't Newt, was it?
No.
Okay.
His name does start with an N, though.
Okay. Couldn't tell you.
Think of Cheers. Think of the show Cheers.
Oh, that was Van Brocklin.
Yes, Norm Van Brocklin. Yes. See, we could do this. I could throw out clues. We could make a game show out of this. We could do this. We could win,
Yeah,
Scott.
that was Van Brocklin. I always forget Van Brocklin was the first guy because I was like, Lehman Bennett was the first winning head coach for the Falcons.
Correct. All righty. And Craig says Arthur Smith. Oh, Craig, you are wilding. All right, last question in regards to Falcons trivia. Deion Sanders is the only player to play in both a Super Bowl and a blank
World Series.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Man.
You didn't need to study up on it. You already knew it. Look at you.
I was trying to think who the coach was after the first one.
It's all good. Antonio Henderson says Joey Greco. I have no idea what we're talking about, Antonio, when it comes to Joey Greco, but I'm going to go with it. Dixon Way says World Series. Wallace Smith says World Series. Excellent. All right, guys. So next, and this is one of our meteor topics, Scott. Pause. I don't know why I felt the need to pause, but I just felt the need to pause. We're going to get into what defensive schemes give the Falcons the most trouble, right? Okay. So now I am nowhere nearly as astute in coverages as you are, but when I saw this topic, I said, oh my God, Scott is going to love this. Oh man, let me bring my fork and spoon because it's going to be a meal. Here's what I do. I know that we did well against cover 3 last year, right? Specifically against Tampa Bay twice, and
Tampa Bay runs that
teams,
Tampa
right?
Tampa Bay runs a quarters, a lot of quarters and a lot of cover 2, because that's the Bulls defense, which is quarters of cover 2. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I don't see any scheme that really should cause them issues. The issue with the Falcons is certain players will cause them issues, right? Like TJ Watt will cause anybody issues. That was part of the issue last year, right? Cameron Jordan will cause your team issues. I'm just trying to think of who else they struggled against. Because honestly, the offense didn't really struggle that much last year. That's why I'm like, they didn't really struggle against any particular scheme. It wasn't a scheme thing. It was these guys just had better players. Because that was the thing with the Steelers. Like, honestly, if Kirk was midseason Kirk or if they had Penix in there versus the Steelers, I think Penix would have been fine against the Steelers. I think he probably would have scored 25 points against the Steelers, honestly. So that's why I'm like, I don't think it's as much. I don't think schematically this team had an issue against anybody.
Okay.
There were open guys all throughout the Steelers game. I was like, Kirk, hit the open fucking man the entire time I was in that stadium. So I don't really know if that's like they did better against cover 3. They did better against cover 2, better against zone overall, but they still did pretty solid against man. I don't think really any coverage schemes really cause too much trouble of getting guys open. Like they've got a really good offense to where they're going to score a ton of points. Doesn't matter what you throw at them. And even if you focus heavy on the run, the way the Buccaneers did, they just went pass heavy and beat you with the pass. And that's the whole point of this offense is you got Bijan, you got Algier. If you want to grind teams down, you can grind teams down. You've got big play options in the pass game. You got, Ray McLeod who can go out there and get a 75-yarder. You've got Mooney. You've got the speed. You've got the talent. I don't see the issue on offense. I see the issues more on defense schematically. But there's no more Jimmy Lake. So I'm studying more what went well against the Jets, and it's a little different.
Okay. Well, let me ask you. So it definitely looks like, and just again, 360 worldview, they definitely struggled against defenses that could effectively pressure the quarterback and limit their play action passing game. Also, if you weren't going to get much separation, I don't know if that's press man coverage or whatever, but defenses that gave them trouble, real trouble, were often like that. So I could see what you're saying as far as the Steelers. The Vikings gave them trouble in the second half. Really, it was
teams with studs. And the Vikings game was more Kirk fell apart at halftime.
He did. He really did. Or soon thereafter.
He
scored 6 against the Broncos. Do you think that was defense or what was that?
I think that was Kirk just his arm falling apart. Because that was the game right after that Saints game.
It sure was. You're right. Okay.
And I think you put Penix in that game instead of Kirk, and it's a completely different result the entire way around. And that was just total team collapse, honestly.
Okay.
That defense looked awful against the Broncos.
They did look pretty bad. They did look. That was a tough one, man. That was. You know what? That game was so bad. I went to Walmart at the beginning of the fourth quarter because I'm like, it's over. They're not coming back.
I was at a friend's engagement party and we had to turn the game off at halftime. That's how bad it was.
That was bad.
And then I saw Penix was getting put in, and I was like, oh, let me turn this shit back on. Let me watch this kid play. Let me watch him throw against an NFL defense. And he looked solid in his first 8 reps that he had.
Okay,
so it was just running the ball.
Of these following teams, who would you say defensively gave the Falcons the business? We know Kirk had his issues, but I'm going to give you a list of teams. So Steelers, Chiefs, Seahawks, Broncos, Chargers, Vikings. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Raiders. And I'll say it again. Steelers, Chiefs, Seahawks, Broncos, Chargers, Vikings, Raiders. Of those teams, who would you say defensively just gave the Falcons the business?
The Steelers.
Okay.
But like even then, it was more their guys were better than our guys, not schematic.
Okay.
I don't think the issue was schematic more than it was Kirk just sucked last year in certain games. When Kirk sucked, the whole team sucked. When Kirk was good, the whole team was good. There was no in between.
Okay.
So, like, when you go back and you watch the games with Penix, you're like, well, he kind of destroyed the Giants. And then he went out and he had a really solid game against the Commanders. The Commanders game was his worst game. And then right after that, it was the Panthers, and he just destroyed the Panthers. Like, I think the Broncos were a solid defense last year, but I think if Kirk gave us good Kirk, that game's closer to a 25-21 game than anything else.
Okay.
I think I blame Kirk more for the issues than the actual offense.
Okay. That's good to know.
Even against the Seahawks.
That is fair. A1 says Broncos. A1 also says Seahawks game was bad. We could have won that one too. Yeah, Broncos did give us the business. But like you said, Kirk was pretty bad, man. Kirk was pretty bad in about 6 or 7 of those games.
The team won this Kirk won. Unless they were playing the Buccaneers or like the Panthers, Kirk was pretty trash for most of the season.
Yeah, he definitely had some better moments. Definitely had some better moments. All right, so from worst teams that we played to the teams we kind of played best, I'm going to give you a list of them: Panthers, Commanders, Bucks, Giants, Cowboys. I gotta say, probably that first Bucks game. I mean, Kirk put up about 500 yards.
That's the best game he played in his career.
Yeah.
Like that was the game where it was like, well, that's why we gave him $100 million.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I went back and I watched it, and I went back and I watched Penix, and I was just saying, could Penix have made these throws in the Bucks game? And the entire time, I'm like, Penix could have easily done what Kirk did versus the Bucks. And provided that play action offset, to where the run game could have gotten going too. And gotten those rollouts and taken some of those easy, like, okay, well, it's available. Go get the 5-yard run. Like,
yeah.
No one's open, but hey, it's available. Go do it.
Yeah, I really expect a lot from Penix this year. I'm trying to temper my expectations. But I can't do anything but gush about him when people talk about him because, again, that arm talent, you just don't see it every day. And he appears to be a student of the game. First in, last to leave. Wants to be a real leader, man. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. So let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
The biggest issue with Penix was he was throwing in fastballs and did not have any touch on his passes until that third game.
Yeah.
And you don't develop that touch till you develop that chemistry. And it caused a lot of drops.
Yeah.
So as he learns to take a little bit off the ball, because we can put it on the ball.
Right.
I'm not worried about that. But as
when you take it off the ball.
And when you take it off. Exactly. Because when he hit that window throw to Mooney, he put just the right amount of touch, put it just in the right spot. And then Mooney had it and had a lane to get some yak. And I think Mooney got like an extra 8 or 9 yards on that play.
Yeah.
Which that's what you want. You only need 10 to get the first down. You throw it 12 yards down the field, and then Mooney gets another 8 or 9. Hell yeah, that's an explosive.
That throw made to Kadero Hodge.
That was nuts.
Oh my God,
dude,
bro.
If Hodge
it's one of those throws when he let it go, I was like, what are you? Oh my God, he caught the ball.
If Hodge keeps his feet, he's gone. There is not a safety or a corner in his lane, and he runs a 4.4. Like, he's gone. He could have easily scored a touchdown if he just stayed in bounds. Bro. Now, I'm asking him to stay in bounds after making an insane circus catch.
Right, where he's got to turn around do a Cinderella spin and catch the ball. Yeah.
He still almost stayed in bounds somehow. Like, that was what was amazing. He took like 4 steps in bounds, and then he was like, oh, I lost my balance.
Bro.
Like, hey.
When he let that thing go, Scott, I was like, what are you? Oh my God, he caught the ball. Like I'm going through all of these emotions.
I thought it was like 2nd and 10, I think, and I was like, oh, I guess he's just throwing the. Was that a catch?
Right, right.
Like, dude, I thought he was just throwing the ball away.
Got on him.
I was like, he's got no one open.
Yeah,
he's throwing the ball away.
Yeah. No, that throw, that one got me because I was like, every now and then you'll see a phenomenal player make a play where you're just like, how the hell did he do that? Right. Like, for example, Vic, when he played the Panthers and he dove from the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And made it into the end zone. I don't think we'll ever see that again. I mean, that so, people don't realize how hard that is to do, right? But it was when I saw him make that throw, Scott, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever see that again because that pass literally went through 4 people's perimeter. Like it passed 4 guys who didn't even see it. They were like, "Oh shit, that's the phenomenal."
So if you go back and you watch it, that was the wrong read on the play.
Probably was.
He had a wide open Drake London over the middle of the field with one guy for Drake to beat. And then if Drake beats that guy, it's a 20-yard pass.
Okay.
So you look at it and you're like, that was an insane throw. But if you're Zach Robinson, you're like, hey, next time, just take another quarter second, recenter yourself because London's wide the fuck open.
Yeah.
But phenomenal throw, great job. But next time, just kind of read the mics, read the middle of the defense, and see what happens.
Yeah, man, phenomenal play. All right, so we got to switch gears here. We got to talk about our Atlanta Braves. That was the What the Falcon portion, and now this is the home of the Braves. And no disrespect to the Braves, but they've been going through it lately, man. They've been going through it. So. It's fact or fiction time, Scott. Fact or fiction. All right. And I'm going to get to the nitty gritty with this one. Because we're at that point in the season, buddy. We got to start asking some questions, Scott. Okay. And there's some tough ones. Number 1, fact or fiction. Michael Harris will continue to start in center field for the entire 2025 season.
I might catch some flack for this, but with how he's hitting, it's becoming such a negative that it's offsetting how good he's fielding.
Yes.
And at this point, Harris needs to go down, spend some time in AAA, get his swing worked out, because I don't know what's missing or what's going on with his swing. And I am one of the biggest Michael Harris fans out there, right? I love Harris. I just don't know what's wrong with his swing because I don't know as much about the nitty gritty of that to where I'm like, oh yeah, if he does this, this, and this, he'll fix his swing. No idea. But something's wrong with it because he's not hitting anything. He's not getting any barrels. He's not doing what he needs to do to get on base. He's not watching pitches. He's swinging at shit that's straight up in the dirt.
Nowhere near.
Way high.
Like he threw it. Yeah.
And it's like, dude, what happened? For a guy who can judge a ball so well in the outfield, he can't judge a ball from the pitcher throwing it at him.
Yeah.
So I think we need to spend some time with Harris just in AAA for maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks and let him get his mojo back, however long it takes. And maybe you send him down to A and AA and then AAA. He's got the options to where you can do that. And just be like, we're going to teach you how to hit again. Your fielding's fine. Your fielding is the best in the league, right?
Yes, it is.
We might lose a game or two because we don't have you out there, but we need your bat to get up to where it was. My frustration with Harris has nothing to do with the fact that he's not hitting. It has everything to do with the fact that he's shown he can hit.
Right.
He's shown he can be a 280 / 325 / 475 kind of guy. And right now he's a 150 / 160 / 210 kind of guy.
He's not even hitting his weight.
And I've seen you smack the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
I've seen you play so well that I was like, man, this is like a left-handed Acuna.
Right.
To the point now where I'm like, man, this is like Juan Pierre.
Dan Ugler with the Braves as well. It's like, what? Yeah. So,
No,
I
no,
don't know.
Ugler couldn't field either. That was Ugler's biggest problem. He couldn't field and he couldn't hit, and he was costing $20 million. So you were like, why the hell is he here?
Yeah.
With Harris, you're like, we know you can field. We know you're fast. We know you're an asset on the base paths. How the hell do we just get you on the base paths more? I'd be happy if from today on, every single at bat, he hits a damn single every single time.
Yeah.
He hits 1,000 for like 3 straight weeks, and it's just single, just every time he's up there. Maybe the occasional double, but that alone is worth its weight in gold because you've got a guy who can run, using football terms here, probably runs a 4.4 himself in the 40. He's fast as hell. Great fielder. And if you're just getting on base and you're the guy before Ronnie or the guy before the guy before Ronnie, that's all you need. Because Ronnie will get your ass in. And if Ronnie doesn't, then Olsen will get your ass in. And if Olsen doesn't, then Riley will. If Riley doesn't, it's Ozuna up there. Like, you got the guys to get you in.
Yeah.
And Allen can bunt your ass over and put you in scoring position. So just get on base. Even if every time he goes up, it's a walk or a single or a double, and that's all it is. Doing that would have so much value. Even just half of his at-bats being a walk or a single would be so much value.
I think what you keyed on is that he's not swinging at strikes. He's swinging at everything. I mean, he's literally swinging at everything.
He's talking to
no idea.
And he needs to be talking to Olsen.
Yeah.
Because Olsen will be the one to actually say, hey, here's what you swing at, here's what you don't. He needs to talk to Ozuna and say, hey, what do you see up there? What should I be looking out for?
Yeah.
Because Ozuna's still walking at a career high clip.
Yeah. He can't. He loves the low and away, not a strike. I mean, he loves it. Honestly, if I'm pitching against Michael Harris, I wouldn't throw him a strike. Why would you? Everything would be in the right-handed batter box at his feet. I wouldn't even throw him strikes because he's going to swing anyway. But speaking of Ozzy, same question. Ozzy Albies will continue to start the rest or the entire 2025 season.
I don't know if Ozzy Albies will be in the Braves organization for the entire 25 season.
Okay.
As much as we love him, clubhouse guy,
right?
His fielding is below average. Now his hitting is way below average.
Yeah, he's killing us. I mean,
at this point, you'd be better off throwing out Nacho and seeing what you had there.
And you know what? You bring up a good point, which we will get into in the next segment. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to see that, and then Nacho got hurt the other day.
He got hurt again?
Yeah, he pulled his oblique.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right.
So because honestly, that's going to lead us into our next segment, because if we can't trade for somebody, you cannot continue to have the bottom of the lineup go 0 for 12, you just can't.
No.
Right? You can't. So
I mean, throw Eli White out there at second base. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
You know what? You're reading my mind. So next question, fact or fiction, the Braves will trade for a starting pitcher.
Starting pitcher?
Yes.
I'm going to go fiction on that because they've got some guys in AAA that are performing, are looking pretty solid. Hurston Waldrop looks solid. Maybe you call him up. Maybe Giancarlo Lara gets called up. He's been surprisingly solid. At multiple levels the last couple of years. He's been working on getting his whip down. That's really the big thing that's been killing him. But and I know he hasn't looked great this year, but he's got some potential. I mean, Ian Anderson probably ain't going to be getting called up. Maybe you bring back up Darius Vines when he's not injured, but
oh God, no. I love Darius Vines, but I don't see I don't see his pitchers playing at this level. Like I
Nope.
just that's Elder, but not as good as Elder. You get what
Maybe
I'm saying?
maybe J.R. Ritchie's ready to come up.
I wouldn't mind J.R. Ritchie. It's just the question. I wouldn't mind J.R. Ritchie at all. It's just, is he ready? Right? It's just is he ready?
Yeah, I know. Like maybe Drew Hackenberg's ready. Like, these are the guys in single A or in triple A, double A. Like these are guys. Maybe they're not doing the best in those spots, but maybe getting called up is the best thing for them. So, but you don't want to risk that either. I just don't see them trading for a starter because I don't think Sale's going to be gone for 50 games, right?
So here's the thing about that, and I don't know, we don't know, but when they listed him as being injured, they said his rib cage, right? They didn't say one rib, they said his rib cage, right? And he got it on that play where he was diving for the ball. And look, I love Chris Sale. I love Chris Sale. I love what he's about. I love him, but he could be out for a month and a half. And if that's the case, woo, Scott. I mean, I like Didier Fuentes, but he's clearly not ready. So
fair.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, last question. Don't laugh, Scott. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Fact or fiction? The Braves will make the playoffs.
Unless the bats just instantly turn on and say, "Hey, we're hitting again." That's big fiction.
Yeah.
They'd be lucky to hit 500 right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you do a deal where you're trading Ozzy up for Bregman up in Boston, and you have Bregman play second base. Because, I mean, he's got the arm to play third. Maybe Bregman plays short and Allen plays second base. But Allen's putting in Gold Glove level play at short, so throw Bregman at second base. He could easily do it. He's great. He's a great fielder at third. And if you're a good fielder at third, you can be a good fielder at second.
It's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that. It's very interesting you say that because I was watching 680 The Fans podcast today, and they threw out there, well, how about you throw Austin in left field? Because he did play left field before, and you go and get Bregman and put him at third.
No, if you're getting Bregman, you're throwing Bregman at second.
Okay.
And you're replacing Ozzy. And you're saying, I can take this 210 hitter at shortstop that's giving me a Gold Glove.
Yeah.
That's hitting ninth and giving me a Gold Glove.
Yeah.
I can take a 210 hitter in center if I've got a guy like Bregman in that lineup, and it's that top six is killing it. And it's Acuna, and then Olsen. And then, so you got Acuna, Olsen.
Profar.
No. Profar sitting late in the lineup. Profar has to earn his way to the top. Acuna, Olsen, Ozuna O'Reilly. That's 3 and 4. 5 is going to be Baldwin when he's in, and if it's not Baldwin, it's it's going to be Bregman. And then when it's flipped, it's Murphy or Bregman. And then that's your top 6 right there. Okay. And then at 7 you have Profar. And then at 8 you have Harris. And then at 9 you have Allen. You go get Bregman to play second base.
Okay.
Second base is the easiest of all the positions. And if you want a guy who can cannon it and on a double play, Bregman's the guy. Bregman would also just be like, I don't care where I'm playing, just put me out there. Riley's playing like a Gold Glover too, so you don't want Riley to get pulled out.
Agreed. And I don't think people realize how good Riley is. I didn't cut you off. I don't think people realize how good he is over at third base. Because he made a play the other night where I'm like, he threw him out. And it was like it was nothing.
And he may have a down week here or there, but he's got a friggin' cannon.
Oh, yeah.
And he makes great plays. And then I think he had one down week all year where he had like 4 errors in a week. And then since then, he's been perfect.
Yeah.
And then before that had like one error the entire season. So one bad week isn't going to stop him, in my opinion, shouldn't stop him from being in consideration for a Gold Glove.
Yeah.
Right?
If it wasn't for the Braves defense, they'd be 20 games under 500. No doubt about it.
Easily.
Yeah.
But Ozzy isn't one of those guys that's making it.
No, he is not. No, he is not.
So
you are
if
correct.
you can improve your defense with Bregman and get a guy who's got a 900 OPS and throw his ass in the lineup, it's only going to make you better. And Verdugo should not even be on this roster. He sucks.
Yeah, I think they'll make a move. So speaking of that, right? Because we literally just kind of walked our way into our next segment, and that is the Ozzy, Harris, and Verdugo conundrum. I think it's safe to say that between the three of them, nobody's hitting, right? Nobody's hitting. Now, these were my thoughts prior to dude that you mentioned that played second base before that got hurt. What's his name?
Nacho?
Yeah. Prior to Nacho getting hurt, these are my thoughts. You bring up Nacho, you let him play second. You bring up Carlos Rodriguez, you let him play left. And you put Profar in center. And if you get the lead, well, Profar's played center before.
No.
All right. Just my thoughts, right?
You put Carlos Rodriguez in center.
Okay, and Profar in left. Okay. All right.
Because Carlos Rodriguez is a natural center fielder.
That's fine.
He's a really solid fielder. And he's not an older guy, and he's hitting.
Yeah.
Like he's hitting 300 right now. He's been hitting at the minor league level over 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Hitting 300. And he gets a lot of walks.
Yep.
He slugs okay, right? He's not great at slugging, but he's got enough of a slug to where he'll be a double sitter, right? So if you've got a double, he would basically be what I want Harris to be, right?
Right.
If he comes in and he hits a bunch of singles and doubles and gives us 3 good weeks, and then Harris finds his swing again, and Harris comes back up and basically does that until he finds his power again, I want Harris to find his contact.
Yeah.
Be a contact hitter. Get on base. Be like Baldwin was early in the year, where he's just hitting it in just over the infield, unless he's really ripping it. You know, just get on base. Just hit it in the gaps. Hit it in the no man's land, Bermuda Triangle areas. If you just do that, I'm happy. I just want you to get on base because you're not one of my primary power hitters. My primary power hitters, if I'm the Braves, are Acuna, Olsen, Riley, Ozuna.
Yes.
Everybody else's job, get the fuck on base.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe hit a double, but just get the fuck on base. Get on base, get on base, get on base, get on base, get on base. I don't give a shit about anything else. Get on base. If you had 7 straight walks from, or not 7, if you had 5 straight walks from that back 5 of the lineup, and then it's Acuna, Riley, Olsen with bases loaded, give me that every damn game. Do that once a game, every damn game. Just force this pitcher to waste his arm out this inning, get a bunch of walks, get the power hitters up, let them be power hitters, and then go from there. That's what I want. Just smash it.
Agreed. All right, so we're going to play a game called Bench, Trade, or Release. Bench, trade, kind of like marry, you know what, kill, but this is bench, trade, release. All right, so Ozzy, Harris, Verdugo. Who you benching? Who you trading? Who you releasing?
I'm benching Harris for at least 3 weeks, demoting Harris for at least 3 weeks. I'm trading Ozzy. As much as I love Ozzy, he has 1 club option year, I think, left on his contract. And he hasn't really shown that he's worth picking up that option this year.
Yeah.
And then I'm cutting Verdugo. Verdugo's useless. And when you get Profar back, that's the roster spot right there.
Yeah. Agreed. I can't disagree with anything you said. I agree with it 100%. Last question, and then we can roll. You're Snit. No, you're Scott Karasic, like Jurassic. You're the manager of the Braves, Scott. Profar returns. What are you doing with them? Now he's tearing it up at Gwinnett right now. Batting like 350, 380. Okay. But it's your show. It's your show. He comes back.
He's hitting 7th.
He's hitting 7th. All right. So give me the lineup.
For multiple reasons, I'm hitting him 7th.
Okay.
One, I have a black hole at the back of my lineup.
Yes, you do.
I need someone to lift up those guys and compete with those motherfuckers and light a fire under their ass.
Okay.
So if Profar's hitting 350, 370, and doing basically what I want Harris to do, which is a bunch of singles and doubles, awesome. You hit it 7th. You talk to Harris every fucking at bat. You get in his head. You make it a competition. And you say, listen, I'm going to go up there and get a single. You need to get my ass over. I don't give a fuck. And you get in his ass. And I think Profar would take to it and be like, all right, let's go. Me and Harris. I think Harris needs somebody like that to light that fire in him because he looks bored and then he looks like he's thinking too much. He just needs to get angry and just be like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm going to hit the shit out of this ball and just hit the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
And just stop thinking as much. He's thinking so much at bat. I will say that. You can see him thinking like, do I swing? No. Do I swing? Yes. I'm just going to swing at everything. Fuck it. No, dude. Just get mad and just use your instincts for like 3 games and just see what happens. And I bet you get out of this slump.
Yeah. If it's me, I'd take Harris out and I sit him for at least 3 games. I don't want him even thinking about it. I sit him for at least 3 games. But no, I can see the wisdom in batting Profar 7th. I can see the wisdom in that. So
I said, my lineup: Acuna, Riley, Acuna, Olsen, Riley, Ozuna. Top 4 every game. Don't give a shit. That's my top 4. 5 and 6, some combination of Baldwin and Ozzy or Murphy and Ozzy, depending on left right. Okay. That'll adjust that. And then at 7, that's where I'm putting Profar. Because if you have Baldwin up in the 5 hole and then Ozzy, if you have Ozzy Profar and at 6 and 7, what does that give you? 2 back-to-back switch hitters.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed to have a fun mind game with the opposing team every single time. Like, oh, we're going to throw a lefty in. Okay, then you get righty Ozzy where he's still doing okay. And then you get Profar who hits harder righty, maybe less average, but he hits harder righty.
Gotcha.
Or you have contact Ozzy and contact Profar and then Harris right there at the 8 hole. Allen, I've written off, right, as a hitter. He's pop gun.
Right.
Like
there's no pop in that gun.
Exactly.
Those are caps.
See, when people first saw that, I was calling him that. They were like, why do you call him that? He doesn't barrel a ball. He's got a pop gun.
Right.
He has not barreled a single ball, and we're almost 80 games into the year, and he started all but like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Dude has no power.
None whatsoever.
I'm okay with that. He's Nicky Allen, right?
Yeah, I mean he let me tell you, I don't think he's made 2 throwing errors. I don't think he's made a fielding error all season. And to your point, almost at 80 games. So his defense is phenomenal.
Get him a torpedo bat and see if that changes things. Because I'm seeing where he's hitting it on his bat. And I think if you switched his bat out, he might start barreling some stuff. I mean, it's worth a try.
He can't do any worse, right?
He literally can't do any worse.
The difference between him, he's going to make contact. He can bunt. He can do certain things that, shall we say, others can. It's different if you're hitting 210, 220, but you can bunt a guy over. You can get over. You can do the fundamentals, and you're hitting 220 and you're swinging for the fences and you're not doing that, and it's a difference. So I get it. That's fair.
He can bunt, he can run, you get him on base, he walks. He might be hitting 210, but his OBP is closer to 3. Like, that's why I'm okay with Nick Allen, right? Like, yeah, he kind of sucks as a hitter. He has no power, but his OBP is 302. His batting average is 232. I can work with a guy like that that's giving me a Gold Glove and hitting 9th. You know, he's not hitting first in the order. He's hitting ninth. His job is to be better than your standard pitcher. And outside of like Greg Maddux, Nick Allen's better than your standard pitcher. Outside of Max Fried, Nick Allen's better than your standard pitcher. So have him hit ninth. I'm happy. I don't care. Whatever.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, hey, man, I think we can close on that, and I appreciate that. Scott, with the part of the show, we're going to do some shout-outs. Now, I understand that you recently did a podcast with another group, right? Can you tell us about that, where you can be found doing your other podcast?
So I did a podcast with Draft Professors. As we get closer to the season, we are working out a cap ethics, like basic NFL scheme type stuff. Basically a NFL 101 type podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And also like how people should go and approach players and not be dicks about it. Like, which we saw in baseball with Kettle Marte, how that one guy said that. It's like, hey, you can be like, hey, Kettle, you can't hit shit. You can't be like, hey, Kettle, your mom died. Like,
that's so foul. That is so foul.
Like, there's ways to talk to these players, right? Like, yeah. Like you can be like even if it's not even baseball, Kettle, I heard you cried to the Notebook. Like, even that would be fine because that'd just be hilarious. That's just joking around, right?
Yeah.
Not like what they said to him. So
no, it's interesting you say that because I was watching the Malice in the Palace episode on ESPN somewhere,
and that dude was starting N bombs at Latrell Sprewell.
Right. Well, there was that, but I think the Malice in the Palace was Indiana, was it not? Was that not Indiana?
Wasn't Sprewell playing for the Pistons at the time?
I can't remember. I can't recall, but I think
that Ron Artest.
I think it was Ron Artest, but I think the fan said something about his daughter who was either ill or sick or something, and that's why he went into the into the melee and the whole thing started. But to your point, a lot of these fans, they feel like because they paid their $50 or whatever that they can say anything, and you just can't do that. No. You just can't do that. Because I mean, let me tell you something. My mom died last year. And if somebody would have made that statement to me, I'm gonna get with you, buddy.
Right?
Oh, but the game stops at that point. The game stops because guess what? You know what? The hat's about to come off. We about to have a conversation, buddy, and you're probably not gonna like it.
And I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said to Kettle Marte, but if it was about his mom, like
it was about his mom.
Certain things you don't touch. You don't like for a player. You don't touch their significant other.
Right.
You don't touch their family.
Right.
Period.
It was about it. And I think his mom recently died, right? Didn't his mom recently die or something like that?
In the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. No, that you're first of all, for you to do that, you are a despicable human being.
Yeah.
You are and look it. I try not to judge anybody because I don't have room to judge anybody. But you are not a nice person if you do that. You are just not. And I'll leave that there. But hey, man, I'm glad to hear that. And now, when can we see you on the show, Scott, regularly?
So on that one, it's not going to be as regular.
Okay.
Starting out, we were still working out timing. It's going to be me and the guy Bill Sparks. So we're still trying to figure out the day.
Okay.
I think we're going to settle on Tuesdays.
Okay.
If I had to guess, but that's what it's looking like right now.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, hey, man. Congratulations. I know you're going to do great. I know you're going to do great, great, great things. Very proud of you. And, hey, man, keep on doing it. To those of you who joined us in the chat, we can't thank you enough. We appreciate it. You could have been anywhere in the world doing anything you wanted, and you chose to give us just a little bit of your time, and we are so appreciative and thankful for it. Again, thank you to everyone in the chat. I want to thank God, number one, for being here and allowing me to continue to be here. And hey, just appreciate you guys. You can check me out at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Say again, that's the number 4 My ATL Sports, the number 1 on YouTube. Also at For My ATL Movies 1 on YouTube as well. And hey, again, thank you everybody. I want to thank Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker for giving me my shot in this business. And last but not least, want to thank Mr. Lamar Johnson for handling the music and the videos, and Chris A1 as well. So you guys have an amazing day. Thank you to everybody. Go Falcons. Hopefully the Braves can pull this one out tonight. I don't know what the score is, but hey, just sending it up there.
It's in a rain delay if my house is any indication, because I live about 4 miles north of the stadium.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it is coming down right now as in a thunderstorm. So they probably haven't even started the game yet.
Cats and dogs. Well, hey, you can't lose a game you don't start. So there you go. There you go. All right. Well, hey, you guys have an amazing day. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you. Good night.
Hey, you just watched another entertaining and interesting for my ATL Fans Sports 1 show. If you enjoyed the show, please let T-Will know by hitting the like, share, and subscribe buttons. T-Will would have brought you this message himself. This guy doesn't know how to keep it short and simple, not to mention that outrageous laugh. Anyway, tune in next time and have a great day. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.